Guys, welcome to the second chapter of the most detailed, highly comprehensive PUBG tutorials for noobs and pros alike. I am your host, SquadMasterBitch. In the previous chapter, we have went over some important information, such as my self-ranking as the world's 49th solo player and some other pre-game settings. Before we continue into this chapter, I would like to add a few more information to conclude the previous video. This shall enhance the gaming experience for many of you, so pay attention. Star-1, Nvidia Control Panel Setting. Simply right-click on your desktop and choose Nvidia Control Panel. First, under Configure Surround Physics, make sure your physics setting is set to your GPU and not auto-select. Secondly, under Manage 3D Settings, change your global settings to match the settings provided on screen. Pause this video now and take your time to adjust the settings. Once you make any changes, the Apply button will appear on the bottom right corner. Be sure to click on Apply before you close the window. Star-2, Multi-Display and Mixed GPU Acceleration. If you noticed, Nvidia has removed this option from Manage 3D Settings, for a reason unknown to mankind. In order to activate this option, you will need to download the Nvidia Profile Inspector to change the settings. Open your browser, search Nvidia Profile Inspector, and download it from the second website at there, or click on the link in the description to download and extract and run the file. Under the fifth section, Common, go to Multi-Display Mixed GPU Acceleration and change the drop-down menu to Single Display Performance Mode, and click Apply Changes on the top right corner. Doing this will greatly affect players who have multiple monitors. If you're using a single monitor, might as well try it, since single display performance sounds badass enough anyways. Star-3 Clothings. Go into PUBG starting screen and click Character on the top. Remove your shoes and your jacket. While wearing shoes, your footsteps are slightly louder and the lower frequency thud sounds makes it easier for enemies to pinpoint your exact location. And when you remove your jacket, you would be able to directly examine your body armor, so that you won't pick up that level 2 armor over and over again every time you see it. Star-4 Spectating. In PUBG, go to Settings, select Control and scroll down to Team Spectator Mode. Change previous player to left mouse button and next player to right mouse button. You can use the mouse button to toggle between teammates when you're dead. Alright. All these settings should have brought your computer to a playable and enjoyable state. So let's continue to Chapter 2, Spawn Island and Parachute. Now before you get onto that spawn island, let me quickly explain how each game mode works. First, solo. In solos, you go against 99 other solo players. That means there are no knockdowns. If you kill them, they die instantly. Secondly, duos. You and your teammate will go against 50 other duo teams. If you knock down an opponent, that means there's still a teammate alive to revive him or return fire. Taking him.
Right behind you.
He's in this little room. Down. Take him. We don't have a roof. I mean extended mag. I'm taking that. Alright. I'm gonna heal up. He didn't go down right away, so he's got a teammate. I got 624. What do you need? Incoming. Grenade. So if you shoot down someone and it shows killed opponent, that means both of them are out of the match.
I landed right on it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Third, squad. You can play as a squad up to 4 players. The system will auto-match teammates for you if you leave the auto-match option checked. Alternatively, you can uncheck the auto-match option to go as a team of 3 or 2 members. Flanking from the left. I'm flanking from the left.
Oh, I see one.
He's shooting at me. I'm safe.
One shot, 98, 198.
One down.
The guy is where I'm shooting now. The last one.
Okay.
Down, 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 down.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow, 2 chicken, 3 games. Oh, save this, save this.
Nice.
The fourth game mode, although also under squad mode, I like to treat it as the godlike challenge mode, the solo versus squad. This is the hardest, most challenging game mode in PUBG. Once you hit play, the icon will turn into matching and you'll be brought to the spawn island. You are almost ready to PUBG. There are 4 things you can do here at the spawn island. First thing, test out the guns. They're located on the bench tables over there. From left to right are pistols, automatic rifles, submachine guns, shotties, snipers, and melee weapons. By testing out the guns, I mean finding the mouse sensitivity to compensate for the recoil. When you spray with an AR, you have to pull down on your mouse to make the crosshair stay on the target. If your sensitivity is too low, you wouldn't be able to trace your target, and if your sensitivity is too high, you wouldn't be able to feel that pull on the recoil. There's a perfect balance that's really hard to describe by words, and you'll need about 4 to 5 games to slowly find that sweet spot. I won't be covering the weapons in this chapter, but I'd like to make a special shout out for my favorite gun, the M249. This babe is incredible when you use it in a prone position. It gives you almost 0 to none recoil, and you have 100 bullets to spray. Second thing to do, be a plant. There's a small corner right here next to the plane where you can plant yourself into the ground and be a potato. There's nothing to it but to satisfy our sudden urge to be a potato. Bling. Third thing, king of the world. Another thing that players love to do at a spawn island is to jump onto the plane and be the king of the world. It's actually much simpler than you think. You just have to walk up and perform a normal jump and do another normal jump again. I mean, it's literally that easy. If you happen to pick up a M249, this is a great spot to spray. Fourth thing, open all the doors. One myth that all beginners have wondered, can we come back here and loot the spawn island? Well, in previous seasons, yes, and players would pre-open all the doors to save a little time when they return to the island to loot. But since they introduced the new town Kameshki, the weapons were moved to Kameshki to balance the total items in game. As for Season 5, you can find the link to Spawn Island Run at the end of the video. And finally, we're in business. Let's get ready to parachute. I want to pause the video right here and say thank you for patiently watching the first two videos. It's been almost 2 chapters, but we haven't even touched the ground yet. I wanted to make sure your game is running smoothly as it should before we get into the actual game, because there's no point of looting for 10 minutes and die miserably as the screen freezes and someone pans you to death. After all, it wouldn't be the most detailed, highly comprehensive PUBG tutorials for noobs and pros alike if it did not cover all the topics. So, without further ado, the first decision of your chicken dinner run, parachute. There are a few videos online which teach you about the furthest parachutable distance, fastest way to land, and go to an isolated area where no one else is going. While all of these are good and useful suggestions, I don't think they fully cover the importance of information gathering while parachuting. Knowing the macro and micro of the map, which means understand the distribution of players, hence knowing the dangerous level of each area, is something I don't see many players are doing. Let me give you 3 examples of parachuting, starting with one of my favorite drop zone. I call it the hometown. First thing you do once you're on the plane, set a marker for your destination. If you have set the hotkey as such as the T for map toggle, you'll be able to drop and flop by quickly pressing F then T. This will make it easier for you to get closer to the drop zone. During the dropping period, you use your mouse to determine the direction you're going. And if you want to charge down to the ground, just simply pull your mouse all the way down and press W. Once your parachute deploys, your mouse is only used for viewing purposes, and you will use AWSD to control the directions. If you're doing a charging motion at 234 kilometers, there will be a momentum that allows you to drop closer to the ground. And if you continue to press the W button all the way, you will land roughly 180 meters later. Thus, it is important to adjust your position to be 180 meters away from your destination before you go into the full charge. Now, a few seconds before your chute deploys, the vehicles on the map will become visible. From this moment on, you only have a short period of time to do a lot of things. First, you need to scout all available vehicles around you. One reason why Hometown is my favorite drop zone is because it has an abundant amount of vehicles in a smaller area of distance. In fact, there are 6 spawn spots. Secondly, once you scouted all the vehicles, you need to scout the sky for threats. It will take some practice to quickly determine if the enemy is flying into your battle zone, but it is important information that you must gather to determine if your compound is secured. Third, you need to scout your surrounding areas or your next destination for enemies. Since Hometown is a small town, you will definitely finish this area before the circle even starts shrinking. So it will be better to know beforehand if the next location is dangerous. Second example, map advantage run. Let me split the flight path into 2 scenarios. The first scenario was the previous one where we were able to eject right next to Hometown or the center of the map. The second scenario will be any flight path that is not close to the center, where you need to fly at least 1.5 to 2 kilometers or more to reach the center. Now, this is when map advantages appear. A lot of players will instantly give up flying to the far side since they want to reach the floor as soon as they can. But since the flight path is way off the center, that means a high concentration of players will land at a resource-abundant area, making it triple times more dangerous. And now that you just acquired the knowledge of the 6 vehicles in the center of the map, you are ready to drive off to the far, far away land which you can potentially loot the whole town of Sayasana or Severny alone. Since you're trying to fly far in this scenario, you'll be flying at 126 instead of 234 kilometers, and flying horizontally will give you a better vision while scouting for enemy. Once you eject, find your marker and then quickly free look at your plane. Everyone dropping closer to the plane will be on higher air but behind you. Everyone who ejected before you will be at the lower air but in front of you. Quickly scout and determine if anyone is going to the same direction as you. Sometimes, the home tail won't be too far. A good thing is, you know the 6 vehicle positions, so set your marker closer to the vehicle spawn spot instead. That would instantly reduce the distance a good 500 meters and make it easier to reach. Third example, the lonely Silk Road. The third type of parachuting is flying to the very far side at the beginning or ending of the flight path. You want to be familiar with all vehicle spawn spots on that path and make sure no enemy is coming with you so you can loot in peace. Just like the introduction video or this one right here. However, in order to truly benefit from the Lonely Silk Road strategy, you'll need to familiarize yourself with bandage tanking, which we'll introduce in a chapter later on. I think that should cover a good amount of information for now. As you see, there are lots of information that needs to be gathered during that short amount of time of descending. Now, before we end this parachute chapter, I'd like to introduce you to one last piece of information. There are 3 tiny spots where you can only parachute into. And sometimes they have amazing loots. They are the observatories, and they are located here on the maps. Go ahead and see if you can land on them. There you have it, guys, the second video of a series of videos to help you understand all aspects of PUBG. I bet you can see the quality and effort I put into this video for your viewing pleasure, so please be a dear, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. This is SquadMasterBitch. I'll see you at the next chapter.